An Unexpected Future by A-Series on AO3. Episode 21, Chapter 21. The leaf was a cleverly disguised bug. Five idly wondered if Ida was enjoying his new found hero name, now that his brother was out of commission. That was a lie. Five didn't know the extent of Ingenium's injuries, and he couldn't imagine Ida was taking it well at all. Five just found it very slightly amusing that Ida already had to cross a very intangible bridge Five had seen coming a mile away when Ida had brought up his family succession the other day. It had been quiet in the Yamada Aizawa household after the sports festival. Aizawa, bandage free for the first time since the USJ incident, had been out cold until 10 a.m. the next day. Yamada was understandably exhausted after talking for so long, on top of the steaming of tragedy hovering over the next day. Five was going to tell them about Shoto, but, well, there wasn't much point without Aizawa, and it seemed like they had enough on their plate at the moment. It could wait until after the hospital, at least. The train there was quiet. Yamada was unrecognizable outside of his hero costume, and Aizawa was affordably anonymous thanks to his status as an underground hero. Five hadn't participated in the sports festival, so the only glances at him were probably due to him being a foreigner. Ida was there to greet them at the hospital entrance. Thank you for coming all this way to visit my brother. I can show you to his room once you sign in at the front desk. It was hard to read Ida's expression behind the reflection of the hospital lights on his glasses, but his movements were even more stiff and robotic than usual. Five saw Aizawa and Yamada exchange a look. Thanks, little listener, Yamada said, his usual manic smile toned down to something sweeter. That'll be a big help. I'll go take care of that. Five kept an eye on Yamada as he checked in at the desk. He was pretty sure he saw a hero license being flashed, but he was more interested in what was going on right in front of him. I'm glad to see you recovered well, Mr. Aizawa, Ida said formally, though it was missing the weight of his usual sincerity. My brother. His fist clenched by his side. He doesn't think that he'll be able to return to his hero work after this. So Five was right. There wasn't a way for Ida Tenya to inherit the Ingenium mantle without pain for everyone involved. That was one of the few times Five wished he wasn't. I'm sorry to hear that, Aizawa said, his voice sincere, as he placed a hand on Ida's shoulder. Your brother was a good hero, but hero work isn't everything. If he still has a life, he can continue living as a good man. This isn't the end for him. Ida's hands were trembling, his jaw set in a way that Five could tell that Aizawa's words were falling upon deaf ears. Tenya, listen to me. Aizawa crouched down to his level so he could look Ida in the eyes. I know this is a hard time for you. We know how much you love your brother. If you need anything, talk. A break from school, an extension on an assignment, just let us know. We want to help you. Thank you, Ida said, faltering. I appreciate the offer. I should be fine, though. But the routine helps. I would prefer to have something to work towards right now, and I don't want to fall behind. If you are sure. Aizawa gave his shoulder a squeeze before letting go. Just let us know if that changes. All right? I will. He was lying. Yamada returned, and Ida explained his brother's condition as they walked to the room. He'd been stabbed by the villain Five had heard whispers about, called the Hero Killer Stain. The blow severed the nerves to Ingenium's spine, leaving him paralyzed from the waist down. With his family all having speeding quirks, not being able to run was a career-ending injury. Yamada wrapped up Ida in a big hug, but Ida barely had enough in him to give Yamada a polite pat on the back. There was only one moment since they arrived that Ida had expressed any emotions at all, and that was while he was talking about Stain. His shoulders straightened, his chest expanded, his eyes became focused in a way that reminded Five of Allison when she was in a vindictive mood. As Yamada and Aizawa made to enter Ingenium's room, Five grabbed the hem of Yamada's shirt. Five nodded towards Ida. Mind if we go for a walk? I think I need some air. Yamada and Aizawa exchanged a look, with Yamada raising his shoulders in a slight shrug. It was Aizawa who turned to one of the pro-heroes guarding the door. Mind keeping an eye on them for a bit? Sure. The hero shrugged, pushing off the wall and moving towards the kid. Come on, I'll show you to the courtyard. Five would have preferred not to have any supervision for this conversation, but he'll find a way to make do. As they walked down backstairs, Five could feel Ida giving him curious glances, but Five wasn't going to meet his eyes yet. The hospital courtyard was beautiful, but completely enclosed by the building. Five wondered if that was for patients' safety or just control. But the effects was that half of the courtyard was in a shadow, and it was in one or more shadowy areas that Five began to lead Ida. Be sure to stay where I can see you, the hero reminded them as Five intentionally increased the distance between them and their chaperone. We won't cause any trouble, Five lied, hooking his arm around Ida's and dragging him behind a tree and immediately teleporting Ida to a supply closet. Five had clocked on in the way. What are you doing? Ida hissed, muted confusion and concern in his eyes. He just said to. You're going to go after Stain, aren't you? Five cut to the chase, finally meeting Ida's eyes. Five had caught him completely off guard. His eyes widened, his expression quickly turned into a mix of fear and anger as he squared his shoulders and attempted to break eye contact. I don't know what you are. You are a terrible liar, Five informed him. If you weren't considering it, you would have yelled at me for even suggesting it. Edith clenched his jaw. He hurt my brother. I know I'm not trying to dissuade you. Frankly, I'd do the same in your position. But you're a greenhorn, both to heroin and to murder. And I want to make sure that if you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. Ida flinched at the word murder. Perhaps he hadn't allowed himself to think of those terms yet. Ida would need to get over that hesitation. There would always be times when a hero needed to do what needed to be done to protect others. It was just a fact of life, and hesitation to do that deed could get someone killed, like himself. That's what you're thinking of doing, right? Five leaned into Ida's space, looking up at him. Eliminating a threat, permanently? Ida swallowed, his nod slow, but his shoulders resolute. He is evil. That sort of person shouldn't exist in the world. We would all do better off without him. That's the spirit, Five said, patting Ida's arm. He wasn't sure if he believed in good or evil, but if that's what got Ida through the day, more power to himself. So, how are you going to do it? There was a little shake to Ida's head, and the look in his face was blank. Five raised an eyebrow. You do have a plan, right? This guy is strong enough to kill established heroes. And you really think that some random first year will be able to hold a candle to him? Ida snapped his jaw shut, firmly avoiding Five's eyes now. I don't believe this, Five muttered in English, running a hand over his face. Surrounded by idiots. We have our work studies coming up, Ida said defensively. I'll go to whatever agency is closest to Hosu. Given Stain's pattern, he should still be in the area. I'll keep an eye on the alleys and... And what? Five said, exasperated. You'll kick him really hard? Please, this is why you're a greenhorn. Do you have any traps in mind? Accomplices? Getaway plans? From what I heard, Stain is a mid to long-range fighter. And you're best in close combat. He has more experience than you in every way. He has fought better opponents. He's used to and even enjoys killing. And he's obviously skilled if he's gone this long without being caught. You cannot win without strategizing. Set a trap for him. Overwhelm him with numbers. Something. If you don't, you're just going to get yourself killed. And that is in no way helping your brother. Five took a calming breath and looked Ida in the eyes again. Losing a sibling is the worst thing that could possibly happen. So don't inflict that on your brother. Get in, get out, without being caught. Or don't do it at all. Your brother doesn't deserve to be hurt by your mistakes. Ida sucked in a breath through his teeth, eyes understandably misty, his fists clenched by his side, and he glared at the ground. You're right. I don't have a plan. I'm just so angry, and I don't know what to do with it. That bastard paralyzed my brother and got away scot-free. He deserves to pay. Oh, absolutely. Five agreed. If he did that to one of my siblings, I'd slit his throat with one of his own knives. Then you understand why I have to go after him. Ida pushed. It can't be anyone else. It has to be me. Then give me a feasible plan, Five said bluntly. One that won't get you arrested. Seriously, I'll wait. Ida opened his mouth, and then shut it several times. The tears that had been threatening to fall finally sprung out. He clutched the front of his shirt and fell to his knees, resting his head against one of the shelves in front of them. Five awkwardly glanced around the storage case, well aware that there wasn't anyone else to offer emotional support. He ran a hand through his hair before awkwardly squatting down next to Ida and patting his back. It's not fair, Ida whined. It's not. Am I really so powerless? Sometimes, yeah. Five pat Ida's back. You can't do everything. Believe me, I've tried. Ida huffed a laugh through his sobs. I do believe that. Five let Ida cry until he couldn't, doing his best to keep his hand on Ida's back, even as he started to lose feelings in his legs. You know, Five started once Ida started to calm down. It sucks that your brother can't be a hero anymore, that he's paralyzed, but he is alive. You can see him, talk to him. That's a lot better than most of Stain's victims. Ida sniffed, wiping his face from underneath his glasses. Yes, I am aware. Unfortunately, that wasn't something I was even remotely prepared to process until now. Glad to know you're starting to see sense, Five said, patting his shoulders, trying not to stumble as he stood. Ida nodded, pushing himself to his feet. My brother, he'd been horrified to learn that I was contemplating any of this. Good thing he can't read minds then, Five said, finally taking back his hand. Then he frowned and added on. Unless he can. That doesn't sound something related to engines, but I could be wrong. Ida chuckled. No, his quirk is engine, like mine, only the egg socks extending from his arms instead of his calves. Oh, so he'll be a speedster in the wheelchair? Nice. Ida looked at Five, something akin to hope in his eyes for the first time today. Do you really think so? Well, I don't know about your brother, but my brothers would absolutely speed through a home with a stooped chair if given the chance. Ida chuckled again, a little more strongly. Yes, I could see that as well. He stared into space. We're gonna have to completely redesign our house. Don't think it's accessible at all. Mine either. I've agreed, thinking about all the non-essential staircases all around the Hargreaves home. Ida slapped his cheek, abruptly. This is no time to be wallowing in self-pity. My brother is going to be entering an extremely hard transition in his life. He deserves my support more than my revenge. I should be ensuring that his transition to his new standard of living is seamless as possible. I should be assuring that his transition to his new standard of living is as seamless as possible. Five blinked. I guess? I wouldn't have gone that far, but good for you for realizing that. I was simply blind to the truth before. Ida insisted, grabbing Five's hand and enthusiastically shaking it. Thank you for giving me such a firm talk to. Are you sure you don't want to do the murder? Five said, a little unnerved by Ida's quick turnaround. Murder can be pretty fun. No, my brother would never want that for me. Were I to actually kill Stain, I I don't think I'd be able to look my brother in the eyes ever again. Ida squeezed Five's hand. I still think that man needs to pay for all the people he's hurt, but perhaps you're right. There are more qualified people already looking for him as we speak. I should focus on what I can do for my brother, not what will fulfill my selfish desires. Well, at least that would keep him out of a jail cell. Speaking of, Ida said, straightening up, please teleport us back to the courtyard. We shouldn't be worrying our escort like this. What if they called a search party for us? Five rolled his eyes and grabbed Ida's elbow as they jumped. He had a feeling that Ida would be okay. Okay, so, basically what I got that is like Five's like, yes, you can murder, but you need a plan. And Ida, from all of that, got, I know, no murder, support brother, thank you. And Five's like, okay, what the fuck? What? I'm so confused. You and me both, Ida. I mean, Five, like, what the fuck? Okay. So, Ida doesn't go after Stain in this one. Interesting. Also, we're seeing the end. It's around the corner. God, no. At first, I thought this was gonna be a very interesting premise, and I've been like avoiding to do it because Umbrella Academy. But like now, it's like, give me more. I need more. Where is more? But oh well. Okay, whatever. Ooh. Anyways, as always, my raindrops. Make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.